episode 3.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Episode 3 is named The Good Book, right? So we are introduced to a new lady. She is a drug addict. Remember that?
She appears to be.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm assuming so, definitely. And then she gets a package in the mail, and it says, like, there's a gun in there, and it says, kill Alex Cross.
Right.
I'm like...
Which is... I don't know the life that these people lead.
Yeah.
But I feel like for myself, I wouldn't just be like,
okay,
gotta follow that.
Yeah.
I would be like, no.
No. I know. Seriously. They didn't give backstory on why she's compelled to follow these rules or whatever. So my next note is about Shannon and Psycho Ed Ramsey going through the process of transforming her into a deceased serial killer, Eileen. I think he had given her the hand sanitizer, and he said, hello, Eileen. And I'm like, why is he calling her Eileen when her name is Shannon? So yeah, he's transforming her into serial killer Eileen Warnose.
Oh, I think the only thing that stuck out to me was just that her face was like super shiny, I guess, because she had like a face mask on.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes. Yes. Okay, the skincare, yes. The like Korean skincare mask or something like that. Okay. Yeah, I recognize that. I'm like, why is she doing a face mask? Or why is he doing a face mask on her?
I did not know it was a face mask because I don't even do such things. I'm sure that I should, but I was literally like, what's wrong with her face? I have something in here about Cross taking the voicemail to the judge.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like asking for a warrant. And surprisingly, the guy's like, well, no, we need more. Like, this is not enough evidence to gain entry into this person's house or whatever. And then something else happens, and they're able to like flip it around. And
Cross talks to the little boy and gets the voicemail from the mother. And so the voicemail says, hey, I'm at this house. This guy's crazy. He's so Amir is talking to Tavio. And he's saying, come and, help me out. Come and get me. And so that's how they have the voicemail. And it's like the black lady that works there, I don't know her name,
me neither.
but she wrote up some type of report that said there were drugs at this house. And so that's how he ended up getting the warrant saying that there's drugs there. And so they go to search for drugs. And they still don't find anything.
They don't find any drugs.
No drugs.
Don't find Shannon either.
Yeah. Once Cross takes time to think about it, and there was information from somebody at the precinct or in the department that said this house used to be like a bank, and it used to be this and that and the third. And so he's saying like, oh, there must be other places that he could be holding her. And so then he goes back with like a sledgehammer and things. And the whole time throughout this, they are met with, of course, opposition from like the realtor guy and stuff. He's following them around. Don't do this. There's nothing here. Blah 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 and stuff. But he's looking sus. So
Very much so.
Yeah. So they find the den of killing. But Bobby is there.
Yes.
He's like, he's on the phone with Ramsey saying like, he's coming, they're knocking down walls and stuff. And he's like, okay, move her and the book. And so they're bartering about how much money this is worth. I don't know, was it $2 million or something like that they came to? And then Bobby agrees to like move Shannon and that scrapbook to like another location before Cross and John can get down there. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so while they're running and they find this passageway and stuff to go down into this vault, Bobby's running away with her, and she's screaming, and I'm like, did they hear her?
I think so.
Okay, because I'm like,
I think they heard.
Okay.
And they were like following the sounds.
Okay.
But Bobby was, it doesn't make sense. A lot of this doesn't make sense because you're carrying a whole adult person.
Yeah.
You are not a track star.
Right.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Even if you are very strong and very fast.
Yeah.
You have this person
who's struggling,
like thrown over your shoulder. There's no way that you're like outrunning two also very fit people.
Yes.
Who don't have a person on their shoulder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It didn't seem like he was that much ahead of him.
Yeah.
of
like, they're
them.
about to catch him. I thought that
Yeah,
they were
I'm
like
like,
right
this
on his
is
heels or
it.
something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, and of course.
But no,
that's
he
not
was
what
gone
happened.
by the
He
time.
was gone.
And this was the part that I said reminded me of Kiss the Girls, because when they find the bodies or whatever, it's like in a cave. Do you remember this?
I don't.
This movie is so old, but it's a really good movie.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, they're like going through caves or something, and that's where the bodies end up. And so when they're like running down and they're like running through the passageway or whatever, and you just see like the brick wall on both sides. I'm like, oh, this is the part that like is making me think of Kiss the Girls. Yeah. I wrote down Cross having a drink, being like sad and nostalgic, and he calls the radio station and he's talking about, you know, he lost his wife or whatever, and he requests a song for her favorite song. And so the radio DJ is kind of like counseling him a little bit, like, it's gonna be okay, buddy. You just need to do this, and this, which I thought was sweet and interesting. Because I feel like that's not what they do. But when he called, and I don't think that this is ever connected later in the show, he says his name is Isaiah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this connected later in the show?
Yes.
Okay, then I need to rewatch the later episodes, because I'm like, okay, who was Isaiah? And then I was like, oh, well, he just used a different name. But then I was like, it's a radio station. No one's going to know that it's you. Why wouldn't you just use your name?
Yeah. Cross goes to a house party. Why does he go there?
The lady from the parking deck, which is also the lady in the very first scene, who gets the message to kill him. So she is, tells Cross that, who was Cooper? She tells Cross that he's all the way in the back. Like, just go all the way in the back.
Who is Cooper? He was looking for somebody.
Yeah. Cross goes back there. He starts exploring. The lady follows him, shoots. John runs in. The lady is shot in the head and is lying on the floor.
Can I just say it? It turns out that the bullets in the lady's gun were blanks. So whoever sent her the package intended for her to be killed by Alex Cross. So yeah, that's unfortunate. But now Cross is just like, well, what the heck is even going on?
Right.
Like, why? What is this person doing, and what is their angle? But I don't think I mentioned that Bobby dropped the book. To go back to that storyline of them chasing Bobby and Shannon out. Bobby drops the book, and so at least Alex and John have that scrapbook in their possession now, and they can do analysis on it and stuff like that. And so does Bobby meet up with Ramsey at the end of this episode too, or is that?
I think it's a phone call.
Oh, okay, a phone call.
And because I'm pretty sure he gives her, Bobby gives Shannon over to him, but he does not pay Bobby because he was told to bring Shannon and the book. Yeah. So he said, if you want your money, get the book. Get the book back, essentially.
Yeah, and Bobby's like, man, just make a new book. Like, this is the main piece. You got the girl. He said, how about I tell you to get a new dog if I kill your dog and stuff. He's like, is that a threat or something like that? You know, his voice.
His cadence of talking. I'm like,
he's hilarious,
like,
man.
Purposely over. I don't.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, crossy cross. I'm like, what are you talking about? So that seems like that's the end of episode 3. Okay.
I guess
not everyone has to be super in depth and long. All right. So episode 4 is masks.
So this episode opens with a trial. The trial is for Deidre, and the case is that she killed a man. She like broke into his house. He tried to escape. What we see, she broke into his house. He's like tied up in a chair. He tries to escape. He gets out of whatever kind of bondage he has going on. But then he makes it to the front door, but he can't unlock it to get out. Like, he can't do it fast enough. So Deidre comes over and like beats him to death essentially with a bat. And they talk about in the trial that she like hit him 17 times with a bat or whatever, like long after he was dead. And then they kind of cut to Cross. He is saying, very surprisingly, that like, yes, she did it. She cannot be fixed. She's like a danger to society, whatever. So she gets sentenced to life in prison, obviously. And he says that the judge gave her that sentence based on his testimony of her not being fixable.
Yeah. He was very like, man, I can't believe I said that. You know, I shouldn't have said something like that. So, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and sorry, we see in the trial that Deidre is wearing the blue dress that in the previous episode was hanging from the tree in the cemetery. So we didn't even talk about the cemetery, but they went to the cemetery. I don't know if it was like it was their anniversary. That's why he was sad and he called the radio station. It was their anniversary, so Cross went to the cemetery to like put flowers on the grave or what have you of his wife, but he couldn't go in. So John was there and he gave the flowers to John. John went in and then they saw the dress just kind of like blowing in the wind. And we see in episode 4 that Deidre was actually wearing the dress during that trial. And so that was the connection or the tie-in to that.
I have a note on the personal side of, you know, Alex Cross and his kids and everything. Cross tells his kids that they can't play a certain song.
Oh,
Is that what? Yeah. A song that reminds him of Maria. And Nana Mama is telling him that he needs to get help.
So I don't think that he told them they can't play it.
Oh, no, he did it.
The daughter said, like, don't play it to the son or to her brother. Like, don't play it because it's going to make daddy sad or whatever.
And so my next comment is about the family tradition of something Fridays.
First Friday karaoke.
Yeah, Friday karaoke. They sing karaoke, and Cross says he is not going to be participating because of the sad memories. And she said, Nana Mama says all the family's going to be there. He said the thing is, all of the family is not going to be there.
Right.
So he has no intention of participating. But Damon's piano teacher is going to participate. Right?
Yes. Oh, yeah. We didn't mention. What's her name? Miss Nancy. We did not mention this woman in the previous episode, but I think that she is in the previous episode.
Yes.
She has to be in order to be invited to First Friday, whatever, because it's a family thing.
Yeah.
And I have on here somewhere that Cross was like listening to his son play the piano or whatever. So yeah, he gets a piano teacher, and now she's a part of she's in the fold now as well. Oh. Ed's house, he has the people coming over and they're installing cameras, and Shannon is like in a cabinet or something.
So because he's moved her, so he has moved her to a new location. She's like in a cabinet, and he's having the house outfitted with cameras and making sure the room where he's going to have her is soundproofed and all the things. Right. So there's contractors coming and going. And I just have a note about Alex reviewing footage of his interrogation of Deidre. Because she's killed herself in jail. Right. And so someone is blaming Cross and is coming after him. So we'll see him continue to go down that path of that.
The next thing I have on here is just about Cross introducing the kill book to the department.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So he's going through the pictures and putting them up on the screen. They name him the fanboy because obviously he's just like such a fan of these serial killers. Yeah. And they talk about, this part is completely crazy to me. So he's like, okay, this guy is a serial killer. Here are his kill books. He has 11 people in here. This last person is going to be the next one. And he puts up a picture of the woman, like the serial killer that he's trying to emulate. Yeah. And it's Eileen, whatever her last name, Warnos. So he does that. And then immediately after, the black police officer, detective, I don't know her name. Yeah. She comes up to him and she's like, this is a missing person. Her name is Shannon Whitner. Make her a blonde. And she looks exactly like Eileen. I'm like, she does not look like her to me. Yeah. Like when he does the transformation, yes. But if I just put a blonde wig on her head, No.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
know.
getting that at all.
Yeah. So how that guy from the food truck like picked her out, like, oh, this is her.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you guys even know?
How?
Yeah.
Same thing with Amir. Like, if you're looking at him with his locks, he does not look like that guy.
Yeah.
So they're like really extra crazy, I think, because like, how are you getting this?
Yeah.
But maybe if you've been doing it for 30 years or however long he's been doing this for, you can pick out. And you've trained your people that work for you to have a keen eye as well, I guess. I don't know.
But yeah, so I did, when I went back to the to rewatch 4, I was like, how did she identify, like, okay, Shannon is the one who's missing so quickly? I felt like I missed a scene or something where they like actually pondered it for a while, but apparently maybe not.
No, it was like immediately after. And I feel like, I mean, maybe just like coincidentally, like thinking about like, okay, obviously he took her.
Yeah.
So let's look into missing women or whatever. Obviously they're gonna be white, so we can, exclude a whole demographic of people. It's gonna be a woman, more exclusion. So it's, looking for missing women, maybe between this age and this age, and maybe based on when she disappeared, like if they just reported it.
So after Ed kills the construction worker, he's talking to Shannon. He says something like, he doesn't kill just for fun. He's not a monster.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff. And she's like, yeah, you're an artist and stuff. He's like, you get it. And they're like having some like connection.
Having a moment.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, so she's going to like get over on him.
Right.
No, she really didn't. So they start, like, they have dinner together and they're eating and drinking wine and like he's feeding her and stuff. And they're just talking about like, so what's next for the plan and all the things. And then he poisons her. Yeah, so apparently there's some next steps in which he needs to be sedated. And so he has sedated her.
That is accurate.
Yeah.
So Cross meets with a reporter. He gives her Shannon's pick for the front page.
Yeah.
And then people are pissed that Amir didn't get the same treatment. Like when he went missing, it wasn't like, oh, this man's missing.
Yeah.
Or I don't even know if they reported him as missing, but
that was clear.
Yeah, I think they're just saying like, okay, now this white woman is missing, and now all of a sudden it's like, stop the presses, everybody pay attention, when we had to like fight you guys to get any kind of recognition for Amir.
Yeah.
Next point I have on here is that the department, they have multiple like whiteboards set up with quotes, everything on Amir, everything on Shannon, and then a board that's where it's just like all of the other victims, because they're just trying to figure it out. They're throwing all the things out there. Yeah. So then Cross figures out that Ed has been working toward an ultimate ends goal in killing all of these people, and he says like he thinks he's an artist. So this is like very important work for him, I guess. Yeah.
And so they also, skin condition, do you have something? Is that later?
I don't have anything about this skin. I don't know if I wrote anything about the skin condition.
Okay, so.
But that might be the next part.
Okay. So yeah, they realize, I think maybe Shannon's sister, Shannon's family told the police department that she has a very rare skin condition that has to be treated with very specific medication. And you see Ramsey get, like in the previous episode, get extremely upset that he sees like her skin is breaking out. And he's like, what is this? What is this? And she's trying to say like she has a condition. So he has to go get medicine so that Shannon can be perfect just like Eileen. So that is a lead. They have to research, who purchased this prescription. They find like someone did purchase it. Someone named Henry such and such.
Right.
Has purchased this prescription in DC, and so they're following that lead as well.
That Ed meets with his followers. He puts like a mask thing on, and he is like, "Don't worry, guys. We had some hiccups, but we're gonna be on schedule. Like nothing is changing this plan. We're moving forward. All of these things." And he says he'll meet the same date and time that was already planned, and he said, I know you all will want to be there to watch. So then my question is like, he's murdering these people. Is he doing it live? Like, people are tuning in to this? Because who would be doing that? What kind of crazy people would be like, yes, let me watch the serial killer kill someone? I don't know.
That Elle has a date with Cross and invites him to Ramsey's birthday party?
Oh.
And then she takes him to have a surprise?
Yes. Okay. It ends up being the first Friday karaoke thing. So she ends up just taking him home. Okay. Just like driving around. I think maybe he's blindfolded or something. Yeah. And he's like, I'm a detective. I can tell where we're going just based on like the turns that you're making or whatever. Yeah. He cannot. Yeah. But he says that he can. And turns out they're just back at the house and they're doing the first Friday karaoke. Yeah. Which was very cute.
It's probably just me. I'm like, it seems like their relationship has moved pretty quickly because it's not even been a year. Well, maybe it's at least a year since Maria has passed away, and he's obviously not dealt with it or has been over it. Mm-hmm. But this lady Elle is like ingrained in their family to like say that I'm gonna take you to this family tradition that you don't even want to go to, but I'm gonna take you anyway and be around your kids. Yeah. Like, I thought that was really weird. I'm like, who is this girl? I mean, I like her, but I'm just
I thought this was weird too. Okay. Because what's the timeline? Yeah. Because at the very beginning of episode 1, it's like 1 year later after she dies. So I feel like it's a year and a couple weeks later by episode 4. Yeah. And so maybe, and they haven't had sex or done anything because we see in whatever episode that he's like, whoa, I am not ready for that. So like, I feel like it has to be kind of early on, like maybe within the first 2 to 4 months or something. And so how have you established yourself this well? Yeah, I don't know. But I asked at the end of this, not at the end of the episode, but like the ends of these like scenes or whatever, like, is Elle involved? Because how it just seems like very interesting that some of these things are happening when it's like this in particular. So they're doing the karaoke, everyone's having fun, whatever, and then all of a sudden, through the karaoke machine, they're playing the 911 tape where he called to request whatever help for his wife who got murdered and she's bleeding out. Yeah. And so they're playing that. And so I'm like, this seems curious. Yeah. Because this woman made you come. Yeah. Who is she? Yeah. Why and how is she still well established in your life? Yeah. That she feels comfortable enough to be like, oh yeah, like you're going. Yeah. Maybe she's involved. Yeah. And I see. Oh yeah. Okay. So they play the call through the karaoke machine. I wrote, what the F is going on? Yeah. They couldn't trace it. They send it to whoever, call in whoever. They couldn't trace it. Whatever. And then I wrote, my next thing is not Vega. I don't know anyone's names. Okay. But it wasn't Vega. I said, motherfucking plot twist. The guy from the department is helping Bobby. Yeah. So he is the one that gave him the book or something. Yeah. He gave him the book back. Yeah. So they had the book at the police department, obviously, because they're like, hey, here are these people. Here are the victims. This is what he's doing. We're calling him the fanboy, whatever. This man brings the book to Bobby. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, he's helping Bobby, which we already knew, but we didn't know earlier. He ran a plate to figure out where Tavio was or where he lives or whatever so that he could kill him in episode whatever, 1 or 2 or whenever that was. Yeah. So yeah, now we know that he's helping Bobby. Ross and John show up. Bobby shoots. His name is Chris. Yes. And then he runs away. Yeah. Cross chases Bobby. Cross shoots at Bobby. Yeah. And then I put, did Bobby jump? Like, it kind of looks like he got shot, and so he fell over the thing, over the railing into the water. Yeah. But, like, maybe Cross knew that he was about to jump, so he tried to shoot him beforehand. Yeah. So Cross tells the lieutenant, I'm getting the lieutenant. The lieutenant is the one with the black, dark hair.
Okay.
The chief is the older blonde lady, right?
I guess.
She's the chief?
I think so.
I don't know. I keep writing
know.
lieutenant, but I know at some point I'm like, oh, wait, that's not the lieutenant. This is the lieutenant. Anyway, so he tells, I think he tells the chief, the older blonde lady, that Bobby is the fanboy.
Yes.
So that they can work the case alone. And I'm like, what? No, he's not the fanboy. He's not the fanboy.
So I was like,
but then
hear that? But
I know
he said on purpose.
But then yes, you find out that he's like trying to work the actual case alone with John. And then like the lieutenant or whoever, the department can focus on Bobby, even though we know that that's not the actual killer. At this point, Ed has to remove Shannon's teeth because she has nice teeth and Eileen does not. And he tells a story about her wanting to get her teeth done and having everything set up, and then she gets like her appointments and stuff, and then she gets arrested like 2 days before she was supposed to have the braces put on or something. Okay, so at the very end of this, Cross goes to Elle's house. They're playing freaking India Irie. Okay, I love this woman. A lot. They're playing I'm Ready for Love, which is one of my favorite songs by her. And they
consummate their relationship.
They do. Yes, and it is lovely, and I am very jealous. Kayla, who is a special agent, gives them information about Harry Powers. And I think she talks about like, this is the person who got the prescription or whatever for the body cream or whatever it was. And so then they do some cross-referencing and whatever, and they find out at the end of this episode that he is the fanboy because he like signed into some like auction or something, or he like bought some art or something and used that name.
On the LLCs that are holding the real estate. So
So then they find out that Ed is the fanboy. And at the very end, he's like, I have a birthday party to attend. Because now he's like, now that I know, I will go to this birthday party. And it's going to be great. All right, guys. That's the end of this episode. Thank you for watching and reviewing this show with us. And we will see you next time when we review episodes 5 through 8. Alrighty, see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Like and subscribe.